business.
Thank you so much. Yeah, it's actually 2:15. Maybe just one word. You know, your colleagues have really done a good job.
Yes, indeed. Bwana Mwenyekiti, ukiniruhusu naomba mwanzo nimpongeze waziri kwa kazi nzuri anayofanya. Na hapa amekuja kwa kamati inaonyesha vile yeye ni msafi kama pamba, kwa sababu hakukataa hawa watu wanahabari kuingia ndani. Kaona waingie, Wakenya wajue kile kinachotendeka. Asante kwa hilo. Na sijasema kwamba wale ambao walikataa wanahabari si wasafi, lakini hapa umeonyesha ule ujasiri na kutaka mambo yawe wazi. Naona ni vizuri vile tahadhari unazozichukua kama waziri wa usalama. Maanake sisi tunaishi maeneo ya Lamu, tunajua yale mambo yanayotokea ambayo tunazuia asitokee. So nimefurahia hivyo, na sisi kama kamati pia tuna hizo tahadhari. Bwana Mwenyekiti, nataka nichukue nafasi hii niwajulishe kwamba jana tulikuwa Lamu na waziri, na kazi ile amefanya katika miaka kutoka tupate uhuru hatujawahi fanyiwa. Kwa hivyo asante sana, endelea kufanya kazi mzuri na Mungu akubariki. Asante. Ile affirmative wengine walikuwa hawaoni affirmative. Sasa hivi sisi ndio tunaambiwa kuna watu wanatambua affirmative. Asante sana waziri, shukran.
Thank you so much for the compliments. You know, we should be Gideon. In 1 minute, please. Yeah. Because we should be also in the house. There are two important businesses.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you, Chair. Just 1 minute. Waziri, my question pertains to an agency in Eldoret. There's an agency in Eldoret called First Choice Recruitment Agency. This agency is owned by somebody called Judy Chepchirchir. All arms of government is kind of, they have been unable to touch that lady. There is an investigation by the Senate. The AG came to the Senate, promised the Senate that the Labor Committee in the Senate that action will be taken. Nothing so far. The agency is still continuing to recruit members of the public, lying to them that they will take them to abroad, specifically Qatar, UAE, and Saudi, and some to Poland. Myself, members of my family were part of that, who were called. But when I made noise in August, members of my family were refunded. But in my own constituency of KO South constituency, I have 76 members of the public. Some 100,000, some 200,000, some 40,000. But when we make this noise, there is rumors in Eldoret, because the people who have been duped by this lady are from Elgeyo Marakwet County, Uasin Gishu County, Nandi County, and some majority from the 3 counties. And then the rest in Nakuru and Trans Nzoia. When we make noise, there's rumors in Eldoret that this is a deep state, that she's untouchable. Some of us who have made some little noise, some people threaten us that there's nowhere you'll go. As the Minister for Internal Security, if myself as a member of parliament I'm making this noise and nobody can listen, what about that member of public out there in Eldoret? Who is Judy Chepchirchir? When there was the issue of taking people abroad, she was paraded around as the person to take people abroad. That she will lead the government policy on the issue of labor abroad. Waziri utusaidia. Asante.
You can address to...
Thank you. Chair, I forgot, in 1 second, I forgot to answer the question which was directed at me on whether there is a contradiction between what the director of the criminal investigations said about the departure from the country of the officials of Worldcoin and what I have said here. And I want to confirm to the committee that there is no contradiction. It is true that the police, through the DCI, had defected stop orders against the concerned people, and they had filed those stop orders with immigration, and we had placed a red alert. And it is true what the DCI said when those officials attempted to leave the country. I can't recall which day it was, but sometimes last week, around 10 p.m., they were prevented and they were taken to the custody. But I've already said that there was intervention, diplomatic intervention by the government of the United States of America. And the two governments reached an understanding that instead of detaining these people when we have not arrived at a point where we have established that they have committed crimes, they should be allowed to leave the country. And the government of the United States of America has pledged to surrender these people if they are needed. So it is true what the DCI said is true, and I was personally involved, and therefore I want to take responsibility and also assure the country that when those people are needed, we'll bring them back. If they are needed, they will come back. Then I have been asked to, because one was a compliment from the member of Lamu East. Thank you, thank you very much. The last one by the member for Keyo South. If a complaint has been lodged in a police station about the possibility of a crime having been committed around that issue, I would ask for 3 days to respond to that matter in writing to the member or to the committee, because it's been asked through this committee. But if a complaint has not been done, we don't interfere with the working of either other arms of government. This matter is a labor matter, but if it has security implications, just like this matter, it was not a security matter, it was a trade commerce issue. But if there are security matters and an OB entry, a complaint has been lodged in a police station anywhere in this country, let me know. I will follow up, and I undertake within 3 days to respond and to the satisfaction of the member, the committee, and the public. Otherwise, we don't interfere, because we can't run. The Ministry of Labor have their mandate, other ministry have their mandate. We only come in when offenses have been committed and when a complaint has been lodged. Thank you.
So thank you so much, Waziri. We need to come to the end of this. And just one matter before we conclude. It is a little bit out of the Worldcoin. When Waziri, there is, it just come to our knowledge that there is something like a majority in the northern part of the country, some clans who are coming up with their flags. I don't know whether you're aware. Mostly in the Muslims communities in the northern part of the country. Every clan is coming up with a flag, a flag, a flag. We don't know what that is supposed to mean. I don't know whether it has been brought to your knowledge. And it's something that as Kenyans, specifically myself as a chair of security, it is brought to our attention, and is a matter that I think should be of concern. to the ministry?
I'll take it up. I know there are serious clan-related tensions in northern Kenya at the moment. As to the issue of flags, again, one would look at the relationship of those emblems to the contribution of mobilization of the insecurity that we are experiencing. There are actually active clan conflicts which are taking place even as we speak. Initially Garissa, now increasingly Wajir and Mandera. So something I can take it up and see the relationship, and thank you, Chair, for bringing this to our attention. But we have already captured it and we are handling it, and hopefully on Monday I'll be in Northeastern, and that will be part of the things that will be taking me there. Thank you. A country's exposure to security threats was limited to land, air, and sea. But now there is a fourth frontier of attack, and the nation can be attacked severely and perhaps even more disastrously, in a more disastrous manner from the cyberspace. And so we set up this task force. This task force had already covered a lot of ground and was supposed to expire and submit a report to the Cabinet Secretary on 17th of August this year. While that task force was about to complete its work, two things happened. One, the attempted attack on the e-citizen platform, which paralyzed and interfered with the activities in that platform for a day or two towards the end of July. Number two, Worldcoin. And those two developments led the ministry and the government to determine there is need to do more substantive work and include these new frontiers of cyber security threats. And for that reason, the task force period has been extended for another 3 months, and their recommendations will be able to help us tackle all the gaps in the law and policy around this area. But in the meantime, in a summary, Chair, the gaps at the moment are around the registration of companies, and entities that want to be data controllers or data processors under the Data Protection Act. The kind of documents that are supposed to be presented before a company or an entity is registered as a data controller or data processor, the issues around eligibility for issuance of certificates as a data controller or processor. We believe the law needs to clarify, amplify, and make it a bit rigorous. Not everybody should be able to collect data and control data for the same reason, as I have said. The same way the country's security today is being threatened beyond the three traditional areas of land, air, and sea, with now cyberspace coming on board. The same way, in a similar way, in a similar manner, data is becoming the gold of the future. What gold was to the economies of the 18th and 19th century is what data is going to be. Whoever controls and processes data is going to